All right, hello and welcome back, everybody. This is David with Faramir's Rangers, and I wanted to talk about mods a little bit. I was on the stream that Terminator did about this Empire 2 mod, and I had a couple things I wanted to discuss about that mod in particular, as well as a couple other things I want to discuss. So let me dive right into this. So in this, while I was watching the stream, there was a couple claims that was made, and that it changed the AI for the to the better in this mod. And a lot of mods make this claim that they change the AI, that they make the AI much better. And I've never found that to be the case. I've found the AI is exactly as same as the AI in vanilla. And I made a comment on that, and I'll share with you an interesting response. But I'm going to go to ModDB, and I just want to look over a couple different mods and kind of discuss them, as there is several mods. Now, this Empire 2 mod is on ModDB. It was just released. So this person put a lot of work into this. So I want to stress that this did take a lot of time. He did add, it looks like he added some mod, sub-mods like the additional units mod. But anyways, this claims to do new CAI, BAI. I don't know what the hell that is, but whatever. I don't know. But it does seem like it did change the trajectories of the projectiles, at least in the naval battles from what I saw from his stream. I haven't played the mod yet myself, but just from watching it, it did seem like the speed of the projectiles in naval was changed a little bit. I could be wrong, but it did look like that. Now, as far as land battle that I watched, I could not see a difference, but the land battle that Terminator did, there wasn't a lot of exchange of rifle fire that I could really see any difference on. But I don't know. It might have changed it. To what extent it did, I don't know. And if it made a difference, I don't know. But it's supposed to have a new fatigue and morale system. Now, I'm not really a big fan of this. It does make the units tire quicker. It just ends up making the battles take longer. It takes longer to get to an engagement because you have to walk so you don't wear out your men. I don't really like this aspect. Really don't. It just seems to make the units route faster, and they do rally back. But I don't really find that enjoyable. Having units, it does add some complexity to the game, but again, it does increase the length of time of battles, which Empire battles are already lengthy as it is. So I think it takes away from some of the enjoyment of the game. Now, I don't like quick-paced battles like what you get in Rome Total War or Rome 2 or any of the other new titles like Shogun 2 or anything past that. I haven't played, but from what I've seen, it's a lot more arcadey, fast-paced battles. I don't like that. I do like the slower pace that Empire gives, but I think you slow it down too much, it definitely wears it out. The new UI and campaign models for factions, I didn't really see too much changes to UI. Maybe it's minor. You can see a little bit of differences there, but I don't really see a big difference. I don't know if you can change unit cards around, anything like that. So I don't know if it's a major reworking, but I will tell you that the person has put a lot of effort into changing the experience as far as like you getting missions to do, but I'm not sure that really needs to be done to the extent that it's been done in the mod. I think it's going to slow down the pace of a campaign drastically. I did notice that technologies are way long to finish, and that also will slow down the enjoyment of the game. Now, and the pace. Also, I didn't really see anything on the difference of the native units, the Indians or Arabs, or I only saw a battle with pirates, and I can say that it didn't seem much different. Now there was a pirate unit that had only sabers, and it seemed to have a firing window, but he didn't have it fire, and he didn't seem to think it fired either. So I don't know why it had a firing window. I don't know. I'd have to see that myself, but you can see his stream for yourself. Now the auto system completely reworked. It's reworked with copyrighted songs. Some of it is really good. I really like it, but it's copyrighted. Animations and graphics from Napoleon Tour. I can't say the graphics look pretty good. So hats off on that. I don't know if that's just a sub mod added, but anyways, it looks decent. New Navy. I didn't see any differences in the naval ships. They all look the same models. Now I did see where you could get a HMS Elizabeth, I think it was. Now I don't know if that's a different model. I doubt it. I think it's probably just a third rate, because it was supposed to be a third rate ship. It's probably just a regular third rate model with the name HMS Elizabeth. So I mean, take that as you want. Economy. I don't like the economy system in this mod whatsoever. I think it's going to be easy to stack up lots of money easily, which means that you're going to be able to stack up lots of troops, and it's just takes the fun down, which if you're able to do that, the AI is able to do it on a much greater scale. So it's going to do the same thing DarthMod does, which is bog you down with tons and tons of stacks of units. And to me, that just slows down the pace of a campaign big time. And I don't like that. I don't like that aspect of DarthMod, nor do I like it of any of the other mods that employ these economic situations. Like, for example, there's a mission to build a plantation, and basically if you build the plantation, of course it costs you an expense to build it. I didn't get a chance to see how much that costs, if that's been reduced, but I can tell you that I think the reward that you get for building it is 12,000. So basically you get the cost of building the building reimbursed as soon as you build it, and you get a bonus. So, I mean, there's no pain in deciding expenses versus your income in this game versus what you do in AI. I think, in the vanilla. Vanilla, I think, has a really good economic system. I don't know why people are continually trying to mod that, because it really works. It does take time to understand, but once you do have an understanding for how the economic system works in Empire, it is fairly simple, and it is very straightforward, and it is actually pretty cool. Now, the other thing as far as the economy goes is your like I said, your income is way higher, and then also the cost of building troops is way lower. So that's going to also add to the addition of having tons and tons of stacks of armies on this type of campaign. So if you like slogging it out slowly while it takes you 4,000 turns to research something to get improvements in your gameplay, then this is probably a mod for you. At this state, I don't think I'd want to even play it. It's another one of these mods that you have to drop the files into the folder to play it. So there is no game launcher, which is a major negative in my opinion. That's one thing I do really appreciate about DarthMod and Imperial Splendor, is that they do have launchers. So that is a massive bonus to me for those games. Now, Imperial Splendor is also, I think it's okay. So Imperial Splendor is a lot different in the fact that the cost of recruiting units is tremendously expensive. So if you if you go into a campaign with the Imperial Splendor, you're going to feel the loss of an army if you lose an army, because it costs hella lot to recruit a unit. But I think the upkeep is the same, if memory serves. I don't know, because I didn't. I mean, there is aspects of the mod that I don't care for in Imperial Splendor, so there's really no point in me playing it, because I just don't find it to be as immersive as I need it to be, if that makes sense. I mean, like I said, of the mods, I do think there's a lot of good things about it, but is it worth it enough for me to play? No, I don't think so. Same thing goes for Imperial Destroyer, as I'm going to try and pull Imperial Splendor up here if I can find the damn thing, because it does have a launcher. That's Total Factions. Okay, so Imperial Splendor. Okay, something's wrong here. Maybe I uninstalled it, I don't know, but at any rate, there's definitely an issue here. So let me move on from this discussion while I try to figure it out. So Imperial Destroyer is another mod while I try to figure out Imperial Splendor. Now, Imperial Destroyer has extremely good graphics, but one thing I can say about Imperial Destroyer is it doesn't really do anything enough to change the game to make it a relevant mod for me to play either. Now, why do I say that? I say that because it struggles from the same things DarthMod struggles from. You seem to get bogged down in these slow campaigns. So there's a point where adding too much is just adding too much. And I think that's the problem that DarthMod has, and I think that's the problem that Imperial Splendor, I'm sorry, not Imperial Splendor, but Imperial Destroyer faces. Now, I would say that Imperial Destroyer, again, like DarthMod, is a very beautiful mod to look at, but it is a mod, nonetheless, that does bog down and become very slow paced. So if you have a lot of time on your hand, then Imperial Destroyer and Imperial Splendor is in that category too, and DarthMod. They're all very slow paced games. Empire Total Factions is basically it is it's vanilla with just adding every faction you can play as, which is interesting. But the problem I find with Imperial Splendor is the AI is way less aggressive in the campaign map. Maybe it's due to the fact that you're playing factions that it's not used to, but I can tell you that the AI does not attack you at all very aggressively, so it makes for very easy campaigns. So that's one thing I don't like about Empire Total Factions. Now, again, with some of the other mods that add other factions, like what is it? Well, let me talk about DarthMod while I pull this up. There's something that's really cool about DarthMod, and probably the best aspect of it is you get to change a lot of the different things that you select. So you can select grenades, you can select forts if you want them. Of course, the ones that are already built, you can't do anything about. So you can change all these aspects of the game and set it up customized to how you want to play. And then you just click start and it loads all the files, and then you just load Empire like you normally do, and then you're ready to rock with playing DarthMod. So that is makes it probably the best of the mods for one reason, that you're able to customize it to your liking. Now, how customizable is it? I mean, not to a great extent, frankly. So even though you're able to customize certain aspects, it's just not enough to keep me invested in this game. And I'm going to show you that DarthMod, as I'm going to just briefly get into this campaign here and show you that DarthMod gets a lot of credit for having a way better AI, okay? And it's just simply not better. It's not better at all. So I'm going to show you that as we do this battle. Now, I'm way outnumbered in this, so I should have a problem if the AI is much improved. And we'll see if that's the case. Now, I can tell you from my experience, it simply is not. But we'll give it the benefit of the doubt, and we'll just go. All right? So let's trek forward. We're going to set up, because I can tell you one thing about DarthMod is that Cav is very OP in this game. Cav is king. So you have to eliminate the enemy's Cav in this game. And there's enemy force to one of my flanks. I see it coming up on the minimap. There it is. So I need to deal with that. So let's move our Cav over. Let's get our infantry sorted for this Cav charge. There's one Cav, and it looks like it might be an infantry. I don't know what else. We'll check that in a second. But let's go ahead and reallocate some men to this direction. We're going to get hit. I'm going to get hit with my pants down in my best unit. So that's negative. But this is no different from what you would see in vanilla. If you weren't paying attention, the same thing would happen to you. Now, the Cav is, again, king in this game. But one thing that is bad about Cav is if you leave it in melee, it is going to lose its performance. It's best in the shock aspect. So if you can provide the shock that Cav gives you, you can easily route units. And since DarthMod, the units tend to route way easier than it does in vanilla, then this can cause a big advantage if you use Cav correctly. But the AI simply does not use Cav effectively, and I'm going to show you here that that's why. I've got now a pikeman into the Cav, and I'm going to end up routing this Cav very easily because it's staying in melee with a unit that is basically a disrupting type of Cav, a Regia horse. So, you know, that's another example. Now I've got two units, and I'm easily going to be able to defeat this with my own Cav. And I'm going to show you, even though I've got a basic Cav, it's not even a Regia horse, I'm going to be able to completely defeat this side, and I'll just use a pikeman to assist in this because Cav is best used as a disruption force. Okay, so I killed off the artillery. That's what I want to do. So now I'm going to quickly get out of melee with this unit. Now I can say the collision in the game has been greatly improved, because you can see when you collide with the units, you get really in the deep of them, which is really a good feature. I'll bring my general over to keep the morale up, because I do have a lower morale unit here with this Cav. And I am going up against the regular line infantry. Now I'm going to bring my pikemen over. And again, the big thing I want to talk about here is I am being disrupted here by this this force that has come in as I hit the AI in the back with my Cav. And I'll pull out and go ahead and reset up for another charge. But what I was trying to explain is I got everything about what I was doing was disruptive. So all my focus is over here on the right flank. If the AI was good, their main body of their force would be coming up to engage me while I'm already engaged with several units on my flank versus a smaller force. But they're not doing that. So this allows me to destroy this army in detail, just like Napoleon. I love how the AI can shoot while it's moving, and we can't. All right, so I'm going to sandwich this line infantry, and you can see here the collision. You can see how it's much better in DarthMod, and that's another thing that improves the visual aspect of this game. But again, with Cav, you got to continually charge, and your Cav does wear out quickly, so you have to pay attention to that, because my Cav is already winded. It might be tired at this point. Got my general still here. We'll keep him close to make sure the morale of this pikeman does not break, and we'll just let the pikeman do its thing. And we'll bring our force up here. You can see again, the main body of this force of the French is way more than enough to beat what I have here. If they just rushed me, as dumb as the AI is, all they got to do is rush me, and I probably wouldn't be able to maintain against this. So does this look like the AI is way better in DarthMod? No, it's the same stupid AI that you get in vanilla. It's no different. It is the exact same. And that's why I say you can see the same tendencies that the AI has in vanilla. And I see this in every single mod. So I don't know why all the mods always claim, or not all the mods, but some of the mods claim that they improve the performance of AI, because it's simply not the case. It doesn't happen. So here we're going to route this line infantry out, and let me go ahead and show you some other stuff. Okay, so here you can see the AI is standing back, and now that I've put my artillery into action, the AI is dumb moving all over the place, just like they always do. And I'm able to snipe down units with my artillery while they run amok like a bunch of nincompoops. This is just the same as vanilla Empire. Okay, there is no difference. The big difference is the unit sizes are larger, which cause longer battles. The other difference is that the graphics looks a lot better. Okay, I give it that. The graphics do look a lot better. But is the gameplay improved? I would say no. It is actually harmed in some ways. Now, I can give them props in the fact that they do make a very beautiful game. A lot of people like that because it is a lot better to look at. And that means a world of difference for a lot of people. But does this look like improved AI to you? The vaunted DarthMod AI is just not there. So it's the same AI as vanilla. So let's go. It's easily, once you're done playing DarthMod, you can easily go back to vanilla, which is great. That is great about the mod. So you get to experience what you want out of the mod, which is, I think, what the mod people wanted. And you can go back to vanilla and do what you want, but it gives you a taste of how you want the mod to be. And Imperial Splendor is also another one that's easy to switch between because it has a launcher. So for me to play a mod now for Empire, that's almost a requirement. I'm not saying it's the absolute requirement, but for me, playing mods, that's a big requirement. Why is that? Because I play a lot of multiplayer, and pulling files in and out of the files is a pain in the butt. Because I can't remember which files are what, for which ones I need to remove. I can't keep all that in my head to constantly pull files out and then put them back in and blah, blah, blah over and over. Because sometimes I don't play the mod for a long time, and then once you don't play it for a long time, it's hard to remember, how to, where you put the files and which ones you pull back out and blah, blah, blah. It's just a pain in the butt. But I do like some of these sub mods, that you can add in units. Like they fixed the Fire Strelski. That's great. I talked about fixing the bowman. I would love for somebody to make a mod where they fix the bowman, like in the video I talked about before, how bowman, if there was a way to change the arc of the arrow firing from arcing to straight, and you could improve the velocity where they shoot fast, like not only shoot faster from reloading faster, but also they can arc them. Well, anyways, let me get to this. Siberian Productions is another modder. He's doing some great work over here on his channel. I do highly recommend that you check out Siberian Productions content, because he actually shows you how to do modding. And that's great. I don't know that I have the time to do it myself, but I know there's a lot of people that do. And I think that's absolutely fabulous that he does that. And he also shows you how he makes some of his other content. So I highly recommend you guys check out his channel. I thoroughly enjoy watching his videos. A lot of times I'll watch these when I have my kids, and I watch his videos and find a lot of enjoyment out of watching them. So I highly recommend you guys do check out his channel, and make sure you subscribe to his channel as well. All right, a couple other things. All right, so back to where we started with the Terminator's live stream on this Empire 2 mod. I made the comment about the battle AI, and I got an interesting response from somebody, and I'll let you read it if you want to. But basically, this guy says that he is a modder, and he is the creator of DarthMod Hardcore. It's a mod I haven't played. I think it's a Napoleon mod, DarthMod mod. So, but he says that you cannot change the AI, so that backs up my claim that I don't see any difference. So, also, I asked him about the Bowman, so we'll see if I get a response. Also, Siberian, if you know, please let me know if there is a possibility of modding the Bowman like that. But anyways, that's about all I have on this topic. I might discuss modding a little bit more later on, but I did want to bring up some of these things because I think they're very interesting, and hopefully you find them interesting too. But anyways, I'll leave it off with that. Appreciate you guys for joining, and if there's something more you'd like to discuss about mods, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you, guys.